Here is our result so far. To continue from here, open the file called scene4.hip from the project files folder. Now, as I said, let me build the materials with textures in my scene. I will follow the same method I followed in the previous part, so I will be building the materials one after the other, and in the end I will do a test render. In fact, I find it better this way, instead of losing your time watching me testing and rendering. So I've done all the tests I want to do behind the screen, and I'm giving you the result. This way, I won't lose your time, and if you want to do tests on your own, you will be able to pause the video at any time and do test renders as we go along. I told you before, I've created all the UVs I need beforehand. So if you want to check them out, just switch to the UVs view. Let me just minimize this window and hit space 5 on my keyboard. So this is my UVs view. And then inside any of my nodes that has UVs, turn their visibility on. Let me go inside my tray node, for example, and here I will go inside my tray geometry node, and inside it you can see this visibility 1 node. To be able to see the UVs of my tray, just bypass this visibility node and you will be able to see its UVs. You can see them here in the UVs view. Let me begin with the tray material then. I'll just turn this back off, and here, as I did before, I'll create a shop network. I will call it tray material, then back to my material palette. I will expand this tab, and I'll create a reflective material inside it. For this reflective material, let me select it. I will leave its base color as the default. Then under its color map tab, here I will attach my first texture. So let me just check this use color map, and then I will click on this button to browse to my textures folder. Here is my textures folder, and in this folder, inside this folder, in fact, I left all the .png files and I converted them to .prat files to use with my scene, but I left the .png for you to use them if you need to. So let me, for my tray, choose the tray texture. Here it is, tray.rat. I'll hit accept, and now I have a color map attached to my tray material. I forgot to name this material, so let me name it here. I'll name it tray material also, and I'll get back to its parameters. I will change my color map filter to Mitchell filter. Then, as I did before for all the speculars, I will take down the specular to 0, and then I will go to the reflection tab. I will take the reflection intensity to 0.3. Then under its ray trace tab, I will make the cone angle 13. And one last thing I want to do for this material is under this reflection mask here, I will assign a reflection texture. So I will turn on this use reflection mask, and I will point my tray reflection texture. So let me choose it here. It's tray raffle.rat. I'll hit accept, and now I have this material ready. Let me now go back to my network editor. I'll hit up, and here for my tray material, I will just assign the material I had just created. So it's called tray material, and I will assign it here. Let me switch back here to my perspective view. I'll hit space 1. I'll get back to my camera view, and here you can see that my tray turned brown, which is the color of my texture. Let me now work on the second material, which will be the material for the tabletop here, the table surface. So let me go to my table node. I will go inside it, and here I can see that I already created the shop network here. So let me go to my material palette directly, and here I will search for my table materials tab, which is here. I will expand it, and I'll create a reflective material inside it. Let me begin by renaming this material. I'll just call it table surface, and then in its parameters, first of all, I will change its base color to full white. Then I will go to its color map tab here, and I will use color map, and I will assign a texture called table.rat. I'll search for it here. I'll hit accept. Then I will change its color map filter to Mitchell. I will take its specular down to 0. Under its reflections tab, I will make the reflections intensity 0.8. Under ray trace, the cone angle, I will take it to 14. And for the reflection mask, I will attach also a texture here, and it will be table raffle.rat. It's this one here. I'll hit accept. this is it for the table surface material. Let me hit up, and here I will go inside my table. You remember that my table is inside one geometry node, so I will have to go inside to attach the new material I had created. I will go inside, and here I will create a material node. I will attach it to this part of my network. Here you can see that this part is my table surface, so I'll attach my material node here. Then I'll attach it here, and inside my merge node I will just delete this entry. So inside this material 2 node I'll just assign my table surface material. I'll hit accept. Then I will show the merge node. Here you can see that the texture appeared in my viewport. In fact, I want to draw your attention to something here. Let me go to my table surface material, and let me go to its color map tab. And if you look to the parameters here, you cannot find a reload texture button. In fact, some other software packages give you the possibility to reload the texture, or give you a button just beside the texture fields where you can reload the texture. In fact, this can be useful whenever, for example, you need to edit the texture in other software packages or image editors like Photoshop, for example. The changes won't directly appear in your viewport. And in other software packages, you have to only click on this reload button, but in Houdini, it's a little bit trickier. You will have to go to Windows and open a text port, and here you will have to type the command text-c. And whenever you do this command, all the textures in your viewport will be updated. So just remember, if you edit any texture outside of Houdini and you save it to the disk, remember to issue this command to be able to reflect the changes in your viewport. Let me now close the text port and continue with my materials. The next material I will be building will be the square light base material for this base here. So let me go to my material palette. Here I will search for the tab for my square light. It's here, so I'll expand it. And I will create a reflective material also for it. Let me select it. I will rename it to square light base. And then in its parameters, I will just leave the base color as the default. And then under its color map, I will load the square light base texture. Here it is. Then I will take its specular down to 0, and in its reflections tab I will take the reflection intensity to 0.8. Under ray trace I will change the cone angle to 15, and then I will attach a reflection mask. So here also I will point to the square light base ref.rat. I'll hit accept, and now this material is ready. So let me get back to my network editor. I'll hit up, and I will attach it to my square light base. So I'll just go to this material tab, and I will attach my square light base. Now for the cylindrical light base, this ring here I talked about earlier, if you remember, I will attach the same material I've done for the square light base. So I will just go to my cylindrical light, and for the cylindrical light base, I'll just point to my square light base here, because it will be the same. I made an error with the square light base name, so I'll just rename it now. I'll get back to my square light, and I'll just fix the error here. Okay, now let me move on to my chairs. So I will go back up, and now inside my chairs, I didn't create a shop network yet, so I'll hit tab, create a shop network, chairs, materials, then to my material palette, I'll expand their tab here. Then I will create another reflective material. Select it, change its name to wooden chairs part, and under its parameters, its color, I will take its value a little bit up. I'll make it around 0.3, that's okay. And then under its color map, I will just load the chair.rat, which is here. I will take the specular intensity down to 0, and for the reflections, under ray trace, I will take the cone angle to 10, and I will attach also a reflection mask, which will be chair raffle.rat.